So community is still reeling for the news that Pastor Tony Evans is stepping away from his church. And tonight, there's no timetable for his return.
Yeah, Evans has served as senior pastor at Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship for nearly 50 years. He shared the news privately with his congregants Sunday morning and then went public yesterday. Evans says he's stepping away due to sin from years ago.
Richard Solomon went to Oak Cliff to get a sense of the fallout from this major announcement.
He can come in so many different ways. He can come around in so many different avenues.
On any given Sunday, lead pastor Tony Evans can deliver a powerful word. It's what he's done here at Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship Church for the last 50 years almost. But this past Sunday, Evans' message left many puzzled. In a written statement, he announced to his congregation he's stepping away from his leadership role, citing a sin that happened years ago. And in this barbershop, Andre Sewell just wants to know one thing.
Everybody is wondering, what did he do?
Brown's barbershop is just minutes away from the megachurch, where on Sunday, Evans read this statement during both services, saying in part, "When we fall short of that standard due to sin, we are required to repent and restore our relationship with God." Further saying, a number of years ago, I fell short of that standard. Evans nor the church have said what exactly happened, but Evans did say he did not commit a crime. He just didn't use righteous judgment in his actions.
I mean, you're a big-time pastor. You got a lot of people looking up to you. Tell us something, man.
And while that question still remains, other people on social media are trying to wish him the best. Evans says he will now embark on a healing and restoration process, but Andre still has one question and says it's good that he's stepped down.
And I think that's going to be about the most responsible thing that he can do.
In Oak Cliff, I'm Richard Solomon.
Guys, these pastors, they are proving our point every day that Christianity is in serious trouble. I walked away from Christianity, and every single day I find something that makes me think, wow, what a fantastic time to walk away. Because every time you look, there is something going on. One pastor or another is getting into trouble. One pastor or another is being found to have had some kind of sexual sins with a member or with somebody. They're usually caught hands down. Someone is revealing something. All this time, they would want you to believe that Jesus Christ is alive and watching as all these things are happening. This continues to prove the point that the Jesus religion, that religion is probably fake. Yes, you heard me. Because if Jesus truly existed, how is it that the people that are claiming to be speaking on behalf of him, how come they are the ones doing the most evil to young people for that matter? Well, this is one of them. This is one of such cases. We don't know yet exactly what this man has done, but he's been one of the popular ones, and his church are keeping it private. They're keeping it secret. They're not helping. They are not helping. Right, but his son has come out. His son, right, this article says the son of a Texas megachurch pastor who abruptly resigned this month due to sin. Quote and unquote sin. They're not saying what sin, but for him to resign, you know that this must be serious. But why is the church not saying anything? Why are they not saying anything? You see why the church is instrumental in the abuse of so many people that has happened in their care. So his son came out and he addressed his father's decision to step down, emphasizing his family knew no more, no less about his father's actions than the congregation. Can you hear that? His son comes out to say, okay, I'm speaking, but I know no more, no less than you. Evangelist Dr. Tony Evans, 74, unexpectedly announced his departure from the 10,000 member Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship in South Dallas that he founded 48 years ago. This man has been in this office for 48 years. I can imagine. I can't even begin to imagine the kind of things that would have gone on, what he would have got on doing. Now he is 74. He waits until his day is nearly dawning. Then he wants to resign. How about tell us what the sin is? How about don't keep us in the dark? Tell us exactly what the sin is. These are the people that tell you you're going to go to hell if you're not giving your life to Christ, if you're not living by the dictates of the book. But look at them. Well, he stepped down and 48 years saying that he committed an unidentified sin a number of years ago. Whatever that sin was has come back to haunt him. And I love that for him. I love that for him. Ain't no way this guy can be a true pastor, man of God. He's been fake all this time. Thankfully, he's alive while this is being revealed. But we're yet to find out what it is. And I'm hoping for the integrity of the church, himself and his family, that he opens up and tells people exactly what he got on doing those many years ago or recently. I do not know, because for whatever this is to affect him now in this present time must be really, really serious. Someone is on his back. Someone is on him. They are onto him. Absolutely. So since then, few details have emerged about the nature of the sin. His 42-year-old son, Reverend Jonathan Evans, delivered a sermon on Father's Day, telling the congregation that he had no knowledge of his father's transgression. 3 days before my dad called the family, I was doing a Bible study in Psalm 46, Jonathan Edwards said, according to EEW magazine. Little did I know that 3 days later, my father would call us and tell us the exact same thing he told you. No more, no less. The former Dallas Cowboys fullback turned associate pastor said, of course, their children usually would take over from them. Church, the Jesus Christ industry is a family business. The Jesus Christ industry, that is a family business. They groom their children to take over from them. And it's time that people start to wake up and realize that this religion has gone years of lying to people. The God of Christianity, there is no evidence for it. There is none. Because if that God truly existed, he would not watch these people carry on like this. So Jonathan Edwards' words may have come to a relief to some, may have come to a relief to some church members who have speculated that the family and others at the church knew about the sin and were involved in a cover-up, according to the magazine. The former NFLer then went cryptic as he said about the scandal and noted 2 Corinthians, where it was written, I would rather boast about my weaknesses so that the power of Christ may dwell on me. You have to be willing to boast about your weaknesses, Jonathan Edwards said. That's why my father is still teaching me. Who can get up and say, hey, I'm going to take some time for spiritual restoration and be restored because I fell short? That's a hard thing to do because people don't like talking about weaknesses. They only like talking about strengths. The audience applauded. It's this audience, the audience. They are part of the problem, the audience. The man will commit evil and the audience will applaud. The man will commit the most heinous act and they will still carry on and say, well done. We forgive you, Pastor. We forgive you. But his victims are busy crying every day. His victims are wishing that this had never happened to them. But you know, the congregation, those ones, they will always have the back of the evil man, the Dr. Tony Evans. His congregation, of course, years, 48 years of bullshitting them, right? Of course, he's got a backing. People need to wake up. People need to wake up. You carry on backing these people up, and the evil persists. People continue to be abused. It continues to be a cycle of abused people in churches. Church is a very ripe place for abusers to go, because you only need to own up to your sin. You only need to repent and you're good to go. So Jonathan Evans told the congregation not to fret over his dad's leaving after 48 years. We are praying, but I know God is going to work it out. So we're going to keep going. We're going to do what God has called us to do. We're going to celebrate on the return. We already won. We are praying. That's what he says. Why weren't you guys praying so that daddy did not commit that sin that he committed? Where were the prayers when dad was busy victimizing or doing something to somebody, because we don't know what it is? Where were the prayers then? Oh, somehow those prayers went missing. But now that he has been found to be doing something, guess what? Now we're praying. A little too late for your prayers. This is like spilling, crying over spilt milk. It's not going to work. Dr. Tony Evans has committed a sin. He was always a sinner, is a sinner, will continue to be a sinner. I don't believe in the concept of sin, but my goodness, for people who have lied to people for years, it's time to call them out. And this whole thing of repenting. What do you mean repenting? He's only just going to go and suppress it, and then tomorrow he's right back at it. Well, guys, this is just a little bit about what's going on. I'm going to keep on doing all these videos just to show you, right? To expose the nakedness of the Jesus religion. There are lots of fake people in there. A man that went 48 years, but look at him, a sinner. All of them, every single one of them, are liars. Every single one of them are liars. And this is just the start. Many more will continue to be exposed for the liars that they are. It's only a matter of time. So brace yourselves, people. Brace yourselves. Now, I'm going to do a live stream shortly where I would be looking at this Tony Evans's son, his the sermon that he gave. Sermon. A lot of gaslighting going on there. I want you to see how the church behaves when their pastors have been found to have committed sin. How the cycle only continues. They are giving room for him to carry on. Just, yeah, we are prepared to forgive and let go. But what about the victims? What about the people that are hurting? So join me later on. I will be doing a live stream about Dr. Tony Evans's shenanigans and his son and all this mess. But then watch out again. Another pastor has been caught. He's had to resign as well. Oh my, this wave, this wave of exposing of the Jesus religion, this wave, get on the ride. It is going to be serious, and I am here for it. I, as an ex-Christian, I'm here for it. There's still sin in the world. Christians sin every single day. So, what did Jesus sacrifice himself for?